We all know this story, right? Maybe you've told it yourself, or maybe it's what you hear from a friend every time you meet up. You sit down, maybe grab a coffee, and the conversation just, it turns heavy. It's the tragedy of their love life. They'll say, I'm so ready, I'm open, emotionally available, just prepared for something real, something deep. But, and here it comes, my partner. They're just completely afraid of intimacy.
Mm-hmm. That phrase, afraid of intimacy, we hear it a lot.
Yeah. And the description, it's always so consistent. The partner is like a fortress. They struggle talking about feelings, not just the big scary ones, but even small day-to-day stuff.
Right, difficulty articulating emotion.
And physical closeness. Forget deep, cozy vulnerability. Maybe a quick hug is okay, but that real mutual surrender, nah.
Almost like they flinch away from it. Emotionally flat, perhaps, rarely showing deep tenderness, maybe never cries.
Exactly. They're painted as this unyielding rock, the problem, the reason love can't get in.
And meanwhile, the person telling the story.
Oh, they're the opposite. Fluent in feelings, longing for connection, healthy, mature, totally ready. It feels like this huge cosmic joke, the seeker of connection gets stuck with a brick wall.
Yeah. And look, that feeling, that cry for connection, it's real, it's painful. We have to acknowledge that sincerity.
Sure.
But if we really want to understand what's going on underneath the surface of these relationship struggles, we have to look a bit deeper. So our mission today, let's say, is to tackle the one kind of inconvenient fact, the incontrovertible thing that complicates this whole one-sided story.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Because, yeah, it does sound very one-sided when you hear it. What's the complicating fact? Where does the story start to wobble?
It wobbles right at the beginning, at the choice.
The choice.
The undeniable counter-argument, the person complaining, the supposedly emotionally assumed one, chose this partner.
Ah, right. Okay, that is undeniable.
And think about the conditions of that choice. It wasn't made under duress, was it?
No, usually not. It's not like an arranged marriage situation.
Exactly. No family pressure, no religious obligation forcing their hand. It was a free choice. Voluntary.
Often after dating for a while, seeing the signs.
Yes. With eyes wide open, you could say. And crucially, usually with plenty of other potential partners around. People who might seem, on the surface, much more available.
Okay. So that fact, it forces you to pause the victim narrative, doesn't it? You have to ask. Well, it's an awkward question, isn't it?
It is a bit awkward. What does it really say about someone's deep desire for intimacy if they consistently, almost skillfully, pick out partners who, well, just happen to be resistant to it?
Like, how genuinely desperate for closeness can you be if you keep choosing partners who are allergic to it?
Precisely. The story we tell ourselves and our friends, the one where we're the innocent, yearning party, it has to be more complicated than that.
Why are we drawn, almost like a magnet, to the very person who seems least likely to give us what we say we want?
That really raises the possibility, is this choice, maybe unconsciously, a form of self-sabotage?
Hold on, so you're suggesting the person demanding closeness might actually be afraid of it themselves. That feels completely counterintuitive. They feel the longing so strongly. They talk about it constantly.
I know it seems paradoxical.
Yeah.
How do you square that intense conscious desire with a possible subconscious drive to avoid the very thing you crave?
Well, we have to think about protection. The subconscious isn't necessarily trying to make us miserable. Often it's trying to keep us safe from perceived danger.
Safe. How is choosing an unavailable partner safe?
Think about it. Falling for someone resistant? It keeps intimacy theoretical, but practically out of reach, doesn't it?
Okay. You want it, you strive for it, but you never actually have to deal with the full-blown reality of it.
Exactly. It keeps the emotional stakes manageable. The partner's avoidance acts like a buffer. It protects the person demanding closeness from the potential terror of real mutual surrender. Okay, so the initial choice kind of sets the stage. It creates a dynamic where deep vulnerability isn't really required from either person in a way, but it doesn't stop there, does it? How does this self-sabotage show up day to day? Because it's not just about who you pick initially.
No, it's absolutely in the maintenance strategy, too,
Yeah.
in the daily interactions. Often, the person who says they're desperate for connection starts acting in ways that pretty much guarantee they won't get it.
Like how?
They might become irritable, belittling even, sometimes quite persecutory towards the partner for not meeting their needs.
So asking for tenderness, but in a way that pushes the other person away.
Precisely. It's the opposite of their stated goal. These actions actively ensure that trust and connection, well, they just can't take root.
Hmm.
Intimacy becomes impossible.
And we're not just talking subtle digs here, are we? Some of the examples are quite harsh, like regularly calling the partner incompetent or frigid.
Yes.
Ooh.
Or labeling them a blockhead or a brick because they don't respond emotionally in the way the person wants. It's using the language of emotional health as a weapon.
Wow. Okay.
And that's the psychological paradox laid bare. You can't logically claim you're desperate for warmth and affection while demanding it in ways that are humiliating or attacking.
Because the demand itself creates distance. It becomes an attack.
Exactly. And when the partner inevitably pulls back, feels defensive, shuts down.
And the complainer can say, see, I told you, they're cold, they're incapable.
Right. The original belief is confirmed, the failure is guaranteed, but the person complaining gets to maintain the moral high ground.
Ah, I see this sort of the hidden payoff now. I'm the healthy one trying, while successfully avoiding the actual scary reality of getting truly close.
That's a good way to put it. There's this underlying, maybe subconscious understanding that, okay, I won't actually succeed in getting this deep tenderness I say I want,
Yeah.
because maybe deep down I don't feel entirely safe having it.
So the irritation, the insults, they're like a preemptive strike, managing the risk.
You can see it that way. So it's a form of emotional control. If you constantly make your partner feel inadequate or defensive, they're unlikely to feel secure enough to truly open up, which ironically protects the complainer from the challenge of real intimacy if it were actually offered.
So if we zoom out, the whole gridlock, the whole pattern,
Hmm.
it's based on misdiagnosing the problem. It's not really a healthy person versus broken person.
No, not usually. And getting past this impasse, finding a more mature approach means accepting a possibility we often shield ourselves from, sometimes with quite remarkable ingenuity. We deny it, we rationalize it away.
Because it messes with our story, the story where we're the good guy.
Exactly. It strips away that self-protective narrative
And this radical possibility is
that both partners
both.
might actually be scared stiff of real intimacy.
Both. Even the one demanding it.
Yes. And maybe, just maybe, both are kind of secretly relieved or at least unconsciously comfortable with its continued absence.
So the avoidant partner and the demanding partner, they're both running away, just in different styles.
In their own ways, yes. Both fleeing the scene.
Fleeing what exactly?
Fleeing the maybe overwhelming nature of mutual surrender, the terrors and the potential joys of it.
And this isn't about saying they're bad people, right? It's not an attack.
Not at all. It's actually deeply sympathetic. It suggests that intimacy is just incredibly daunting, especially for people whose early life, maybe their childhood, taught them that being vulnerable or dependent leads to hurt or suspicion.
Okay, let's unpack mutual surrender.
Yeah.
That sounds intense. What does it really mean in this context?
It means giving up that illusion that we're completely self-sufficient, accepting real interdependence. When you're truly intimate, the rigid boundaries around you and me soften. You have to be willing to be, well, fundamentally affected, maybe even changed by the other person.
And vulnerable to them, to their flaws, maybe their rejection.
Deeply vulnerable. And if your past taught you that relying on someone meant getting hurt or exposed, that level of surrender can feel terrifying, almost like annihilation.
Wow, okay, so the demanding partner, the one who seems so articulate about feelings, they aren't necessarily demonstrating perfect emotional health. They might just be engaging in a more sophisticated kind of running away.
It could be seen as a sophisticated form of flight, yes. They choose the avoidant partner because that person reliably keeps the risk of actual deep mutual surrender at a manageable level.
So intimacy stays theoretical, a goal to constantly chase, complain about.
But never actually attain. Practically impossible.
So they're playing different roles in the same dance, a dance of evasion.
Beautifully put. A carefully orchestrated dance of mutual evasion. The brick partner's resistance is obvious, the loud no, but the fluent partner's irritation and demands. That's the subtler yes but, the yes but only if you fail immediately so I can prove you're the problem and safely retreat.
So despite the surface differences, deep down they're equally scared, equally ambivalent about true closeness.
That's the core idea. Just as scared, just as ambivalent.
Okay, so what does this mean for someone listening who feels stuck in this pattern? What's the way out?
Well, the path towards something different, something genuinely intimate, it doesn't start with more blame. It can't. It starts with acknowledging, maybe gently, that temptation we all have.
The temptation to
To project, to see the things we can't bear in ourselves.
Yeah.
our own fear, our own ambivalence, and pin it squarely on the other person
You stop pointing the finger.
and start looking inward, perhaps.
Yeah.
The most powerful step, the one that could actually change things. It's the joint realization
Joint realization.
of shared fear, shared ambivalence, when both people can somehow get to a place where they see, okay, wait, this isn't just you being broken and me being healthy. This is about us. We're both terrified of this thing, this surrender,
That changes everything, doesn't it? The dynamic shifts from conflict.
to potential compassion.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're not arguing about who's right or wrong, who's open or closed,
You can stop fighting the symptoms.
and maybe start addressing the core wound together. That shared fear of being truly seen, truly dependent.
And that shared understanding, that's what might finally allow the tenderness they both crave but have been running from to actually emerge.
That's the hope. That realization holds the key, potentially, to the very compassion and closeness they've both been fleeing for so long.
It shifts it from, you are the problem, to, we share this challenge. It's profound, really. So maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to reflect on in your own life, your own relationships. When you look at your patterns, not just who you complain about, but who you consistently choose, what surprising truths might your choices reveal about the level of intimacy you actually allow yourself to pursue? And maybe, what comfort could there be in accepting that you might have far more in common with your partner's deepest fears than you've ever let yourself believe? Something to think about.